When you are chasing something in life, you are immediately admitting that it's not there in the moment, that you do not have it in the moment. And this can be very much true. If you are thirsty and you are trying to go after a water well and try and get some water, you are recognizing that the water isn't there, and so that water is required to quench the thirst. And so therefore, if you're not going after this water, if you are not fulfilling the desire for the water, you will physically suffer. However, there are certain instances where chasing after a particular goal or a particular thing can actually be detrimental because of the very implication that that thing you are chasing isn't there right now. And I'll give you an example. The most common example I see is happiness. What if I told you that the chase after happiness is what is keeping it away? What if I told you that you chasing after happiness, which implies that you are admitting and giving up and accepting the fact that there is no happiness right now, what if this is actually pushing happiness away because happiness cannot be anywhere other than now? Happiness is not something that is locked up in a particular place at a time, where when you go, you unlock this happiness so that you now can carry it with you. Because even if there is the illusion that you have now become happy because of a particular thing, when you are back to square one, the happiness isn't there anymore. And even if you've told yourself that when you achieve a particular goal, you now feel happy, when that happiness is felt, it is felt in that moment. It cannot be felt at any other place or at any other time. It has to be felt in that same moment, in the moment, now. It has to be there now. And what if chasing after a particular goal, which you believe will make you happy, what if all it really does is, once you've achieved the goal, is it quietens the mind so that happiness is actually revealed. It's not found somewhere externally. And these are just a bunch of questions that I am presenting you so that you may perhaps try and verify this in your own life, in your own perspective. Because I'd like to invite you to discover that happiness is here right now, and it's just covered by expectations, it's covered by belief systems, it's covered by opinions, it's covered by imagination, it's covered by a bunch of stuff that can only be sort of removed through justifications, so that these veils and these layers covering the happiness that you already are, they may for a moment allow the happiness to leak to the surface so that you feel this happiness of having achieved something. But actually the very being, the very sense of being, the very sense of just the isness, the presence of now, is just pure happiness. It's pure fulfillment. It's everything you are actually looking for. Think about it. Some of these people who are really into extreme sports, or any sports for that matter, or anything that anyone is really into that allows them to engage in this streamlined focus. When you are climbing without a rope, just free climbing a mountain, and if you fall, that's it, you fall. The level of focus and the intensity by force quietens everything else down, because life is really at risk here. everything's quietened down. And so there's this sense of euphoria, this sense of happiness that is felt, that presence. That presence is always there. But perhaps it does require you to risk your life to be able to recognize that presence and happiness. And so chasing after happiness can veil happiness even further, because you're now adding another layer of expectation, another layer of belief that happiness can only be felt if so-and-so happens. And so if you look at children, very young children who haven't fully developed these layers of expectations and opinions and character, they are happy. They are joyful, they're jumping around. Even when they fall and cry, it doesn't last long, it's very short-lived. But as you grow, you develop these aspects of the character, you accumulate and manufacture thoughts and ideas and belief systems that I can only be joyful and happy if so-and-so happens. And it's kind of weird because such a small baby or body can feel so much joy. And now, as you grow up, you should, by definition, be feeling more joy, or at least have the capacity to feel more joy. But it's not the case. It's just covered up by so many layers of he said this and she said that, and opinions and stories and scenarios, and this should be this, and if buts and maybes, and but really it's always just here. Everything you've ever wanted, everything you are looking for is here. It's not there. If it's there, then you by definition deny the here. So allow yourself to just rest in the sense of being that you are. Now, what that means is that you will have to observe all of these scenarios, all of these layers of belief systems, memories, perhaps trauma, perhaps different things, right? That are somewhat obstacles to just being here now and resting in that endless ocean of just being and pure happiness, peace, and just everything you've wanted. And so one question you can ask yourself is, what really is missing right now? And whatever answer comes up, be honest and recognize that if this answer is something that's been manufactured and accumulated at some point in life. So for an example, if I ask myself what is missing right now, and I tell myself, I have a slow car, I need a faster car with a bigger engine. It's no offense to anyone who's really into their cars and they love their cars, but it's bullshit. It's not going to do anything. For a short period of time, like, yeah, look, I've got a fast car, like, look guys, look here, But it doesn't do, if that's what you're living for, then you're screwed. You're really screwed. But there's nothing wrong with getting the car, but if you are getting it to fill some sort of void within you, that's where the problem arises. Get the car, do whatever you want, it's fine. But if you are expecting that this will fulfill something within you and make you happy, then that very mistake will bring about a lot of suffering. So ask yourself, what is really missing right now? And with that honesty, recognize that whatever answer comes up, then ask the question, is this answer manufactured? Is this answer something I've picked up? Is it some sort of expectation? Is it some sort of belief system? And I'll tell you now, whatever comes up is manufactured, is some form of expectation, is an obstacle, is a justification as to why you are not allowed to feel happy now. It is so absurd. It's actually very absurd when you look at it. You are constantly creating justifications as to why it's not okay to be happy now. And that you are only allowed to be happy if you do something. The moment you tell yourself, I have to do this thing, you've signed a contract that you are not allowed to be happy. You're not allowed to access your inner happiness that's always there, available to you, until you do that thing. That's dangerous. Signing contracts left, right, center is very dangerous. So, get a shredder, put all these contracts in the shredder, you know, allow them to just, once you've shredded them, throw them in the ocean, allow them to just go away and be the ocean. Allow yourself to rest in this boundless sense of being. And if there is any form of discomfort, that's okay. Perhaps the discomfort is there because, hey, I shouldn't be okay. I should be doing this, that. Look, there's years of conditioning that has been telling you to do something in order to feel happy, and so there's bound to be some discomfort. But it's okay. Rest in that sense of being. It's okay to be happy for no reason. Every other reason is short-lived anyway. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for watching this. This is Hassan from The Spiritual Walks, and we are all on a journey towards the truth.